Hey guys, I'm Carl Radke and welcome to More Life. Today on the show, we've got JB Copeland. He's the author of Sappy Medium. He's the host of the Motion podcast. You also might have seen his videos on Instagram. They're incredibly inspiring, very vulnerable, and he's very authentic. I cannot wait to talk to him today. We're going to dive in very soon here at Soft Bar in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. We got JB Copeland, guys. Welcome to More Life, man.
Yes.
Great to have you. I
Yes.
love the butter yellow cardigan.
Thank you.
I almost wore the butter yellow. I have a butter yellow one just like this. But
I was hoping we were going to match. So
I thought about it, but you've, as a fashion guy a little bit, I always thought your aesthetic in your videos.
Well, thank you.
You always are rocking cool stuff. You and Jay Shetty are like some of my favorite vibes.
Jay's got the vibes.
He probably has a little bit of help.
I have help too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's my wife. So my wife.
I'm
it's
sure
not
Jay's
me.
wife too,
Yeah.
Roddy, probably has.
Yes.
But welcome to More Life.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to Brooklyn, man.
Of course.
It's awesome to meet you. One of my favorite sayings, and it's something that came from reality TV. And I had this saying that I would speak out at like dinner tables when I was really drunk. I'd be like, more life, no stress, more life. So I've embodied this as a mantra now in my sobriety, is more like I really live life and I really try to take advantage of my opportunities and one day at a time, but really just try to embrace each day and live it to the fullest. So that's kind of my mantra.
I love it.
I'm wondering, I know you have some different things you've said out loud, but do you have a mantra that you kind of live by?
I think probably, and this is like so cliche, but like for 27 years of my life, I'm 31 now, but for 27 years of my life, I wasn't me. I didn't know me. I didn't know, the drugs, the insecurities, all of those things made me not know who I was. And so mine's probably just be you.
I love that.
I know that's so cliche, but I want to just be me.
Yeah, and I think that's so powerful because another favorite quote of mine is that it's either Oscar Wilde or Michael Scott.
Yeah.
It's like, be you, everyone else is already taken.
Exactly.
And I think the acceptance and finding your own inner confidence for men, guys like us, it took some time, which I want to get into.
Yes.
But take me back a little bit. I mean, I played sports too. So some of your story, I loved reading just because I love the athlete stuff. And I think there's a lot of actually addiction that can come from post athletics or even during athletics, the pressure, all the injuries even.
Yes.
Kind of curious, take me back to like you from Texas.
Texas.
You come from like basically Friday Night Lights.
Literally, Bible Belt, Friday Night Lights. I love that show, by the way.
Great show.
And so I went to a high school that was known for winning a lot.
You guys have like a lot of NFL, current and former NFL
sure.
from South Lake,
Texas.
Yeah.
Yes. And DFW is like the pinnacle which is Dallas Fort Worth, is like the pinnacle.
So you started playing football at what age? Was it like ingrained and you had a football in your crib?
So I started playing in 5th grade, which is a little late. I had played some flag football, and I was the quarterback on that team, and we were just terrible. We just got smoked over and over and over again. And I just remember my mom being in the stands, and she could never watch the games, even up through going and playing at Division I in North Carolina. She hated it. And so that's pretty funny. I don't know why I said that. But I started playing in 5th grade, played through middle school, and then I was really little. I was very small. I hadn't really hit a growth spurt. My dad was like, 6'1", 6'2", and so I was like, maybe one day, like,
okay, maybe I'll hit puberty.
Yeah, maybe one day.
I was a late bloomer too.
I was so late bloomer.
Yeah, man.
The craziest thing is I got held back in 2nd grade.
Oh wow.
And so I was a year older than everyone and like 6 inches shorter than everyone. And so it was so weird for me. I was always like embarrassed of being older.
Looking back on that time now, like, do you think that had anything to do with maybe some of your identity or?
Oh yeah.
Because I also felt similar. Like I was a late bloomer like yourself and, always questioning why I was shorter.
Yes.
Or I was a little chubbier too.
You're tall. You're like, how tall are you? Like 6'5"?
I didn't grow until my freshman year of college.
Yeah,
I came back for a reunion and most of my classmates didn't recognize me because I thinned out and got taller.
You look good.
But there was like a mental thing that developed where
Yes.
there's like an insecurity.
And you still feel short even when you're tall.
No, you know what I am now? I'm embarrassed that I'm so tall. Like I feel weird that I'm so tall.
Well, don't be, because it's a great attribute.
Well, thank you. Thank
so
you.
I love it.
What's like the football culture like in Texas for those that might, it's like
religion.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane. I mean, we would have, at a high school, we'd have 15, 20,000 fans showing up, every Friday night.
This is high school guys.
Yeah. And the whole city would be there.
What kind of pressure does that put on the players? Like,
it's so funny, and I think about this a lot. It's so funny looking back. If I were a high school coach now, I wouldn't have acted like my coaches. Like, we're like 15 to like 18 years old, and y'all are making it seem like
it's at the end of the world.
Yeah. I always think that that's weird how they acted, because like it was an environment of high performance, high fear. You do not mess up. If we don't win, we suck. And you know, you're 14, 15, 16 years old. Not that that's like not a good thing. I think what makes it a bad thing is like the culture of it was this high performance and fear. It's fear. You cannot mess up. And that hurt me through the years as I kept on moving up.
The high school is also just like, I think, understanding kind of that environment of like the sports and the football of it all.
Yes.
Obviously you went to play the Division I sports, which I want to get into, but yeah, go into the college. I mean, you were recruited pretty highly, right?
Yeah. My senior year, I ended up tearing my ACL the fourth game of the year, and it was terrible. I was the team captain, and pretty much all my scholarships got pulled except one.
How does that work? Like, you've gotten your letters from these teams. Do you get another letter saying we're not?
At that point, they
just don't follow back up.
No, they had called me, and we're like, "Hey, man, like we got to
give it to someone who's got a better knee."
Yes, exactly.
Fuck.
I know, but one school stayed with me, and it was the worst team in Division I and CAA since like 1940. And it's the New Mexico State, and they hadn't had a winning season in forever, and so. I would say my junior year of high school, I started smoking, I started drinking, trying to figure out how to deal with the pressure of not only football, but really like peer pressure and wanting to be liked and
socialized, social and fitting in. And
it was fun, and I loved it. And so then I ended up going to New Mexico State, and it was like no shade against New Mexico State, but it was
party school.
It wasn't a party. It was in the middle of a retirement town.
Oh man.
And I just didn't like New Mexico like that. Not that I don't like New Mexico, but I hated it. And there would be like 15 fans at a game. And I was like, how was I in high school playing in front of this many people, and now we're here and we can't win a game? Haven't won a game in years.
Yeah, you can go from like here to like bottom of the barrel.
So yeah, I was there. I was smoking weed every day there.
Like, how did that impact your sports performance if you were to look back on it? Do you think it?
I think at first, like, it didn't really impact it at all. But looking back, and like, I was not in a good place mentally or emotionally. I remember just dealing with so much anxiety, and growing up in church, you can't really like put a finger on your feelings. It's like you just pray it away, and you don't ever really go deep enough to even engage with those feelings.
Sure. Well, even being a male too, I would imagine.
Correct.
Like you're I was raised pretty religious as well. And yeah, you pray, you show up, but a lot of times it's like, as a guy, you got to just be tough and stoic and jam it all down.
Exactly. And you're at practice every day, you're 2 days, you're meetings, and there's just no time for the reflection and evaluation of yourself that you need. And so you start to numb it. And so that's what I started doing. And
did your ACL injury kind of inform some of this usage too?
I had already been using, and at that point it was just alcohol and weed. Yeah. But yeah, when I had the ACL surgery my senior year, I remember getting those painkillers and being like, let's get another surgery. Like I'm gonna go break my arm.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing feeling.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I've taken some painkillers back, and it was always like you'd get it for like a dental thing, or buddy of yours would have a couple extra, but you weren't taking them necessarily for really the pain. Now, did you think at all about this, like your drinking and using at that time was like a problem? Or
the only thing I was scared about was getting tested from the school. The NCAA at that time tested for steroids. Yep. And the school tested for marijuana or any other type of illegal drugs that you were doing. And so luckily I wasn't chosen on the drug test list. A couple of my buddies were, and they got caught. And so I was playing with fire at my freshman year at New Mexico State. But so I ended up transferring from New Mexico State.
At what point in your New Mexico State career is this?
Like 5 months in.
Okay, wow.
Like I stayed there just the first semester.
And that's it.
And then went to junior college, and was at junior college I was like, I'm just going to earn a scholarship till I know I'm good enough to go play. Like I had this.
So for the uninitiated, the junior college is a way to keep your football career playing, but also like be able to then position yourself to go play for another major Division I.
Exactly. And so I ended up going to Navarro Junior College, and Navarro is known for cheer.
I was say that's the Netflix dance show, the cheer show.
Yes.
No way.
They're good at football, but they're really good at cheer. And so that was like an hour from where I grew up.
No way. Okay.
So I was there for a year, and I was the leading tackler in JCAA, which is the junior college.
So you were playing linebacker at the time?
Yeah, linebacker, outside linebacker.
So you must be an animal, man.
So at that time, I was on steroids.
Okay,
so
that helps.
I got on some steroids there. Everyone was on steroids in junior college. And I ended up going to North Carolina. And this is where everything falls apart for me.
So you get the opportunity to go to UNC Chapel Hill, which is an amazing school.
Yeah.
ACC.
Yes.
I mean, cream of the crop.
Yes. I'm riding the high at this point, but I am starting to break down a little bit mentally, emotionally. I just didn't know it yet.
Sure.
You know, a Band-Aid can only work for so long. And I didn't even really know what I was bandaging, that, you know, from childhood and those types of things. And I ended up going to UNC, and within 2 weeks, I failed a drug test.
Wow.
Yeah. For weed.
How do they test you these days? Or those
You
days?
had to pee in a cup.
Okay. I heard a hair test.
Dude, that would suck.
The hair test they can go further back, right?
Yeah. Just shave your head. You know, when you think that you're going to get tested, all those thoughts go through your head.
I can't even imagine.
So I remember there's like all these different things that you could do. So yeah, I got the text and it's like, hey, be at the field house at, 5:30 a.m.
How much time do you have from the text to
like 10 hours?
Wow.
It's the night before. So you're taking like niacin. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you take niacin.
There's a thing that I had heard. You take a Gatorade bottle and you pour, it's like a gelatin.
Yes. What's it called?
You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, it never worked for me.
I'm sorry.
I tried everything.
So you take the test.
Yeah.
You fail. Is
I
it
fail.
slap on the wrist or you like totally screwed?
Slap on the wrist. And, I'm coming in, I'm new. They needed someone to fill that linebacker role. So I'm still favorited in the coach's eyes. They're like, kids mess up. It's okay. I don't know what happened looking back. I think I'd fought for so long to get somewhere, and I had finally got there, and like it's like this inner self-sabotage started to come out, and like failed that drug test 2 weeks in. And then we go to a frat party, and I literally broke someone's jaw, which was not good.
Did you get arrested for the jawbreak?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. And I like fled the scene and went back to my dorm and was just like, holy shit, like, what am I doing? All of us in college were pretty crazy. I was crazy. My friends were crazy.
I feel like that's what you were supposed to do though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like back in like that, there was an era where like college was where you go do crazy shit.
So yeah, ended up just like not going really well for me at UNC. In that situation, that next Monday we had started spring ball, and so like I'm running around with
which you talked about a little bit. And I was reading about this with Sappy Medium, just like the performative stuff.
Yes.
And I think even as like you're performing on the field on practice, but also just like in everyday meetings and like trying to just show that like you're good, but you really weren't.
Yeah, I was just so, when it came to men, like a coach or like a professor or like my father, there was a father wound there. And I wanted to be affirmed by a man that told me that he was proud of me. Mm-hmm. They might have said, I'm proud of you or I love you, but the actions were different. It was like, you only like me if I'm good.
Sure.
And that made me be the least vulnerable person ever. I couldn't be open to these men in my life because if my belief was if I'm open with them, they'll think I'm a failure. Mm-hmm. They'll think I'm stupid. And so really my only outlet to be vulnerable was with the drugs, was with the alcohol, was with my buddies. It just led me down a really bad path.
What was your favorite, like if you don't mind me asking, what was your favorite thing to drink and use?
Just straight liquor. It wasn't even like I liked a certain drink. It was just give me like a double, because it wasn't really about the taste. It was about
just getting drunk.
And
then you would have like straight vodka or straight whatever. Would you then introduce any other substances after, or?
At that time, it really was just marijuana and drinking. I would say I smoked more than I drank, but on the weekends, like I would get crazy, but I was smoking every single day. Wow. As I was playing probably like 30% of the time, and just I wasn't in a great headspace. I felt like I couldn't learn the scheme, and I was just, again, I was so fearful to mess up, and I just was not playing great. Well, within like the first 3 weeks of the season, I got a concussion, mm-hmm. and then I'm out for 2 weeks, and then we come back for a bye week where we're practicing, and I get another concussion. Damn. And then career is over, just like that. And so I never really played there. I mean, I traveled to some games and I, got some plays. It's like everything I worked for just
disappeared.
I would say that was the beginning of like.
That's when it really turned in a different direction.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like once you go from all that structure,
yes,
all that kind of commitment and consistency to then.
Yeah. And it was almost a relief to not have that anymore.
Because that's all you had known.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it for a minute, but there's a duality to it of also just feeling completely worthless.
Sure.
You know, I didn't have to get up for the morning things.
Did you lose friends? Like because you just weren't on the team or weren't a part of it
I
as
didn't
much?
lose friends. I isolated. And that's a thing that I've seen. It's a pattern in my life is I isolate. I think a lot of men isolate. You know, I felt embarrassed that I couldn't be of help. I felt embarrassed that I couldn't perform. And so I'm reflecting out of me what I feel about me, and I'm putting up walls around me. And within 2 weeks of retiring, I got tested again and failed a second drug test.
Wow.
And when you fail a second drug test, and I'm still on scholarship, you know, I'm a medical retiree.
Got it.
School's still paid for. So it's like now I'm throwing away my education. Yeah. And so
you can only have 2?
Well, at the time you could have 3. And so I had failed 2. And so I was
got
like,
1 strike left.
Yeah. And I
But at that point, you probably were just so like out of your mind, you didn't care.
I didn't
It was like,
care.
when's the shoe gonna drop again?
Yeah, exactly. And that's when things got pretty dark. I started doing like ketamine.
If you don't mind me asking, like my first experience with ketamine, I did it thinking it was cocaine. Because someone was like, oh yeah, do that, Carl. And I did it.
And you just threw a straight cable.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I was mad at first, but then I actually felt really good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't recommend it to anybody. But for me, I was like, wow, this feels good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't into that. But I'm curious how people started.
Yeah, it's a buddy had it. I was more of a downers guy.
Yeah, like a Percocet or Vicodin or
Percocet, Vicodin, Xanax.
Yeah.
Really, Xanax became like.
Were you liking that after like a big drinking night? Or because I would love like a Xanax after like a big cocaine weekend and just to kind of like ease like a soft landing back into life.
Yeah, for sure.
So it would become like my post party get back to normal.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would use it after that. But really after the concussions and after retiring, I was locked in my room. And so really I wasn't going out. I wasn't drinking. I was just isolating deep.
Did you have like friends that were concerned or noticing that you were, or did you have like really good excuses and you were able to kind of like isolate, but then still be like, I'm fine, guys?
Yeah.
Or did people start to notice like this guy's really not doing well?
I had one friend, Mello. They would call him Fat Mello.
What's up, Fat Mello?
Yeah, I know. He's a great guy. He was a D lineman. And he was like the one guy that was there for me. He was really the one guy I was like pretty honest with. And he's seen me at my worst of worst. Like everyone else, I kind of kept at arm's length, including the coaches. It's not that people didn't check on me. Even my dad and my parents at arm's length.
Yep. I relate to this so much, man. Yeah. It's very similar to my story.
Yeah.
I know exactly that feeling.
And
like,
so
you don't want to be weak or judged or embarrassed.
So you just
hold it up.
Yeah.
Build a wall.
Exactly. And so it was really just him.
At what point are you really hitting rock bottom? Was it shortly thereafter, or was this like do you have a series of bottoms?
Yeah, it was a series of bottoms that was 2016 when I got my concussions.
Yep.
To like bottoms and trying to climb out of it, until like 2022.
Wow. Just so people know, like I appreciate the honesty on that, because like a lot of times when people like they hit that bottom, you get help and then they're fine, everything's good. It's like not everybody's story is like that. It's not a linear path.
No.
I had a similar story where I was like, I got a problem. I had people sit me down and tell me to go to rehab and all that. And I still didn't. And then finally it's like, okay, like, but it was like a 2.5 year span for me where I like knew I had an issue until I actually got the real help.
And even trying to figure out how to get help and not feeling like you can get help. And
well, talk to me about that. Like, cause I think men, especially like asking for help and then getting that help, like even finding a therapist isn't necessarily the easiest thing, or finding a treatment center that maybe works for you. So talk to me about like, you're down, darkest you've ever been, right?
Yeah, darkest I've ever been was a year later. So in 2017, I was a senior now going into my second semester, and I failed my third drug test.
Oh, fuck.
So I got kicked off scholarship. And that was just like, it's literally 2 years of it feeling like 1 month because I was on Xanax every day. I don't remember anything. And I ended up failing out my second year semester, even though my parents ended up paying for it. So I failed a class.
Damn, how was that combo with your parents?
Dude, I'm sure that I don't even remember. Yeah. I just was like, I can't. And so
damn, man.
From being like, a recruited athlete to a complete loser.
Yeah,
like,
you're like from here.
It's like Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Just, it's like, I remember just
this degenerate loser
yes,
piece of shit, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was. In the middle of that, and I'm going to get to your question, but I have to, but
you can string it together.
In the middle of that, right after I got my concussions, I had met my wife.
How did you guys meet?
Instagram.
Nice.
She went to Arkansas. I went to UNC.
Did she slide in your DMs?
I slid in hers.
Nice. What was the first thing you said?
Hey.
See, that's simple. I love it.
I just said, hey. And she left me on red for 6 months.
Nice.
So I was like, whatever.
Make them wait a little bit.
But we're from the same hometown.
Very cool.
Not South Lake. We were from the same area. So
Texas.
I didn't know her in high school. And so that's another relationship being introduced into this whole dynamic of arm's length. So she got the best of me. She got that side of me that was still the performative side.
Yeah, the good guy and the happy guy. And
I'm flying her out to UNC and,
you're the cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that.
It was all an act.
All an act. And so her and I were on and off.
Did some of your act, did the veil?
Yeah, she caught me.
Yeah.
And I lied. And it's funny, I didn't have to lie to her about my struggle. She would have been there.
She would have loved you anyway.
Yeah, she would have helped me. And she's the one that ended up helping me.
Did you graduate?
I ended up graduating in 2020.
Hell yeah, brother.
So in the middle of COVID, I finished that last class.
Got it done.
So I got my communications degree from UNC.
Hey, great school.
Yeah. So I'm happy about that. But when I got back and I really tried to clean my life up, and my dad was a pastor.
So you're back in Texas now at this point?
Yeah. And football career's over.
Was faith a big part of your story when you were using and drinking, or you kind of also were walled up to that?
I wanted it to be a big part, but I didn't know how to let it be. It didn't work.
Yeah. I had a similar experience. I was very anti-community like that because I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. So there are things in my life at this point, like with my wife and me being at home, to where there was a level of accountability, and not everyone knew all of the darkness that had gone on within me. I was never honest with my wife. I was never honest with my parents. They didn't know about the ketamine. They didn't know about the acid. They didn't know about the crazy nights. They knew that I had failed 3 drug tests for marijuana and I had concussions.
Yeah.
They didn't know about the Xanax.
Which maybe your parents might offer you grace. It's like this poor kid, head injury, career over. Maybe the marijuana helps him or something.
That's exactly it. And that's what happened. Is they were like, it must be the concussions.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It wasn't the concussions. Concussions are detrimental, but there was an excuse that I used. And for my wife, her name's Chloe, I used that for her, and with my parents, and even with my little brothers. And so I just was like, I had made a decision, I'm gonna get cleaned up and I'm gonna marry Chloe. I have to figure out how to do this. And so I was like, I
love that, by the way.
I appreciate
it's really beautiful. Thank you. That deserves some praise.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get cleaned up. I tried because I just didn't know how. But I was like, the only place that I can see myself going back into could actually help me is where my dad works, which is church. And I look back and I'm like, that was just so far from who I am when it comes to being a pastor or working at a church. It's just not me. But it goes back to that father wound of how can I please? How can I get affirmation? At my lowest point, the one I wanted affirmation from was my dad.
Your dad.
And I ended up getting that, but the addiction kept on going. And I was a youth pastor at my dad's church, and I was probably the worst youth pastor ever. We just played games the whole time and had fun.
Sounds pretty fun.
I know. I think the kids thought
the kids probably had a good time.
They loved it.
You might have diverted off of what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I definitely diverted. I remember going and having to speak or something, and I'd be in the bathroom just hitting a vape at the church before I had to go in and speak.
Wow.
And
I appreciate the honesty, man. That's what's so important, is just how raw.
Yeah. And so it was I'm just saying it was a really messy time. And my wife knew, and she's like, you're a hypocrite.
That probably eat you alive a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it did. I hated it.
Oh, man.
And that took me to 2022, the question of asking for help. And my wife had enough.
Is there a moment in particular that she kind of...
There were a few that she had caught me, with the Xanax, with the painkillers. And so, I remember we were staying at my parents'. We had no money and, on a pastor's salary.
But the money you did have, you were buying what you could.
Exactly.
And thinking of how crazy that is.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
You're broke ass and no money, and you'll still find a way to buy the drugs you need.
Exactly. So we got out of our apartment lease because we didn't have money. And this is May of 2022. And we went and stayed with my parents for a couple weeks that lived, 20 minutes away. And I remember like being upstairs, like watching Netflix, and I just heard my wife and my mom like whispering downstairs. And I was like, oh, like, I'm not going to think too much into this. Like, they're fine. They must be just talking about girl things. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she comes up and I was like, what was that about? And she was like, oh, nothing. Well, the next day, my dad comes up to me and he's like, hey, I want you to come up to the offices with me. And I was like, oh, shit.
Getting called in.
And he's like my boss's 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 boss. Like, he's like up there. And so I'm more worried about what he thinks than like what I've done.
Sure.
And he just is like, Chloe had a conversation with mom. I need you to be like straight up honest with me right now. And I got honest in that moment.
What was it? And
I just said, look, at that point I was also having some panic attacks. And so I was like, I
can't lie anymore.
Yeah, I can't. Like, this is at the point to where like, I just need help. And I just said, look, I'm an addict. I can't stop. I haven't been able to stop since 2014.
Wow.
And I'm a pastor. I feel like a fake. I'm your kid. I feel like a failure. I've fucked up with football. Like, my wife wants to leave me because I can't be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get help, and I don't even know what that looks like.
Wow.
But I will. And so one thing happened after another, and the next day, like, I was in the car with my mom, my dad, and my wife, and they were driving me to rehab.
Wow.
So this is like really like a 8 to 10 year long demise.
Sure.
Of like my life.
Just slowly going off the cliff.
Exactly. And just the self-doubt and all of these things. And I didn't understand any of it at that point because I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah. But you were so caught up in everything.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I mean, at that point where you were ready, what'd you say?
I think I was ready. I was tired.
Yeah. Was any of the usage towards the end of that even fun?
No.
I get that a lot. I mean, I felt the exact same way.
It was fun for like 30 seconds. It was like the ritual of it.
Yeah.
It was the ritual of going and getting it.
Finding it and that first
and
little
like,
thing. And then as soon as it was over.
Yeah, the guilt that you have and like
the shame and
that the addiction cycle and all that kind of thing. And so they dropped me off and like no phone. I'm there with like 20 other guys. And
how was that first like 24 hours
terrible.
week?
I remember.
Were you coming off of stuff too on the way there?
Yeah. And so you go to detox first.
I mean, benzo and painkiller detox is
not good.
Really rough because your mental side is like,
no, it's not good.
It's like coming out of outer space.
Yeah. So I remember saying goodbye to my wife and them being like, you're not going to see her for 90 days. You're not going to be able to contact them except, a couple times on a Sunday or something like that. Man. You're just not hitting. It's like all this has just happened. So, that starts the 7-day detox. You're on Suboxone and all these things. And so it's not as bad. They're detoxing. They
kind of wean you off.
Yeah.
And
so I'm like, okay, I can
under
do
care.
This.
You're not like shivering and shaking in your corner of your room.
Exactly. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. But it got really bad after that first week, just because that's when all the feelings hit.
Yes. So like, what did you have to face? I mean, everything obviously, but was there things that were really hard to face? Maybe your father or...
I think I just didn't realize how much pain was in me. I didn't realize that I wasn't me. I didn't even know who I was. Yeah. It was like, I remember my therapist asking me while I was there, who are you? And I was like, I'm a husband, I'm a son, and he's like, wrong. Oh, and I was like, what?
Start over.
Yeah, and he's like, who are you? And I was like, he's like, that's what you're here to find out.
Mm.
And it was just like pain from child. And here's the thing with childhood, like, it's not like I had some crazy, terrible childhood. Like, my dad was my coach, my pastor, and, my father. And I was kind of raised to perform and like look good for him and our family. He was a pastor. It was very important.
Yep.
Which I don't think is all bad, but like, when you're a kid, it doesn't.
Well, yeah, it's very concrete in your body at that age. Like, I have to do this or I'm going to disappoint my dad, and he's probably your hero.
Yes,
and you're
for sure.
Everything.
Yeah. And so all of this came from the belief of I am not enough. At my core, I'm not enough, and I need affirmation to be enough. I need to perform to be enough, which is so crazy that can snowball into what it did.
So you completed the 90 days?
I was there for 60. They let me out early.
So you were doing well.
Behavior. Yeah.
Now, would you have wanted to stay, or were you ready to get out?
I was at the point to where like I kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know if did you go to rehab?
I was told to go to rehab. I did not. COVID started, and that was kind of like a weird forced rehab.
Yes.
But I went to kind of more of an outpatient,
which is still great,
meetings and things. But honestly, like, I needed rehab, but I couldn't have afforded it at the time, which is kind of also interesting.
Yeah.
I think people forget how much those treatments,
It's insane.
it's so expensive.
It's insane.
Which is, yeah, I mean, I was fortunate, and not everybody has to go, but I was certainly sat down by people that loved me and said, you need to go. And I was like, see, it's funny. When I first got sat down, I was like, oh, it's just my drinking. And they were like, just your drinking, Carl? And I was like, the way they said it, I like unraveled. I was like, they know.
For sure. And that's why I went, was to get sober. But what I came out with and what I realized is sobriety is just like the fruit of a root. Like addiction is the fruit of a root. The addiction cycle, and you know it, but it's the way I learned it is it starts, you're restless, irritable, and discontent. And then from being restless and irritable and discontent, you start to obsess and think about, how can I not be this way? How can I not be restless right now? How can I not? And then you use, and in whatever addiction, for some people it's eating, for some people it's drinking, for some people it's Xanax, for some people it's whatever. And then you go on a spree, and like, this was my life. And then you feel guilty and you create a firm resolution to stop. And then you're like, okay, I'm good. And you wake up the next day and you're restless, irritable, and discontent.
Yep.
And so the problem for me was every day was this cycle of being restless, obsessing, using, guilt, the shame cycle. What they had taught me was like, we have to fix it here, where you're restless, irritable, and discontent. Why are you restless and irritable and discontent? Number one, it was because of all the feelings that I was suppressing. But number two was like, I was disconnected from, I think, myself and God, or the creator.
Yourself and something outside of yourself.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how I could be good enough. And that time in rehab proved to me that there is something bigger. Now, it wasn't what I grew up learning.
Sure.
And rehab really changed my perspective on church and religion. But I know for a fact that I met something bigger, God, like the future me within that time. I remember we would be out and I would ask for signs. And I think people that are watching, like, ask for help from something bigger, ask for signs. And I would be laying out there, and it'd be like 12 at night, and all the boys are out there like in the rocking chairs at the rehab center. And I'd look up and we'd all just be sitting there, and I'd ask for a sign, and I'd see a shooting star. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, all right, God, like, if you're real, show me another one. And I was like, I don't know, just like this peace that came over me. Like, there are moments like that of being shut out from the rest of everything. All of these worries that I have in life with the money and with my job and with my wife. And like, I had to be taken away from that to be able to finally understand myself. The moment that really changed everything for me in rehab was a moment to where they brought this lady in to do psychotherapy, the form psychotherapy, which was like where someone sits across from you that you need to talk to and sits in for that figure. So like, someone had to sit in for my father. And, you know, all the guys in the room went. It's a 2-day process. And like, you watch as your friend in rehab goes through it, and then you go through it as well. And so I had a conversation with my dad there. It wasn't
your dad, but it was a proxy.
Exactly. And I remember just telling him like who I am, and like that I'm not who I thought I was. I'm not who I've been pretending to be. Do all this because I try and please you, you know, that whole thing.
Sure. How did that feel in that moment? I mean,
I didn't really feel anything in the moment. But then at the end of the session, she said, I want you guys to close your eyes. And she did this like inner child healing where we like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I met my inner child in my childhood bedroom, and that was good. Well, you know, you don't really feel anything in the moment. And then we went downstairs, and a buddy of mine there made this joke to one of like the RAs there. And there was like an ongoing thing with the RAs, the guys that were working at the rehab and the guys that were there. It was just like, it was like college all over again. It was hilarious. And he made a joke and I laughed. It wasn't it was like a belly laugh.
Like a real laugh.
And in that moment, I felt like I heard a voice saying like, you're back. And so a laugh is what kind of set me free. And, and it's like that little kid JB came back out again. Fun.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Making me cry a little bit.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And so, yeah.
No, I love it, because I think getting back to that inner child and like that's something I've had to do a lot of work on, and finding comfort in that version of myself and that healing. Because like when I was 5 or 6, like I wasn't using, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking weed, I wasn't doing coke, and I was happy, I was friendly, and I had to like really get back to that. And that's kind of how I feel like I am now. Like I'm just a bigger version of that 5-year-old kid.
And I can feel that. Your energy is amazing.
And thank you, man.
Truly.
I appreciate it. But it took time to get there. And it took a lot of really wrapping your arms around the difficult stuff.
Yes.
But it's something you've, I think, talk about too, and your amazing story that you've, now been sharing publicly, which has gone incredibly viral. I mean, that's how I first saw you. But like men especially struggle to ask for help. And it took you a while. But once you did, look what happened. And I'm curious, like, talk to me about just like why you feel like men really struggle from your now experiences so far, removed from it.
I think the reason that men struggle is because what vulnerability is showing your weakness. And I think that we've been taught through our life that our weakness is not okay. The bad feelings, the dark feelings, the anxiety, the depression, like that's not okay. Like don't share that.
Don't share it, yeah.
But what strength is being able to have capacity as a man, the capacity to hold space for yourself, the capacity to hold space for those around you. And you can't tap into strength unless you are vulnerable. That doesn't mean that you need to be vulnerable with everyone. It means you need to be vulnerable with the people that you trust. Like for me, it's my wife. For me, it's, a couple friends. And being honest about where you are now. And I think that that's the hard thing for men because they isolate.
Yeah.
And the reason that they isolate is because they don't want to be known, because if they feel like they're known, then it's going to reinforce in them that they don't believe that they're enough. If I show my weakness to someone, then my darkest nightmare is going to come true. And that is that it's going to be reinforced that the belief that I'm not enough is true. And so I think that's why men won't share, is because it's more comfortable to isolate.
It's easier.
But it's more detrimental. But it's the strongest thing that you could ever do is to be vulnerable.
Agreed. Well, there's definitely, we've had guests on, women that are, talk about the loneliness epidemic in men, and curious if you have any thoughts on, someone who's kind of come so far, and like even just what you talk about on your Instagram and in your book, you're inspiring men to be more vulnerable and open up. I mean, do you think we're getting a shift here? Is there change, or is it getting worse? Because I feel like I see both sides. I see this loneliness epidemic everywhere. But then I see guys like you, guys like Jay Shetty, even me trying to really share these vulnerabilities or give space to those who want to share vulnerability.
Yeah.
I hope it's helping, but then I read these articles and people tell me that it's even worse.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what you think.
I love tapping into the positive side of things. And obviously with, I see the same thing, and it's just like, I think generationally, when you look at like, boomers to, I don't even know all the generations' names, but my parents, Gen X.
Well, I think my parents were boomers.
Then
there was a Gen X. That was my brother. Millennial or Gen Z.
It's crazy to see when we look at like the demographics of, and I've talked to a lot of people in the space, like what you're doing here and like in the mental health space, and the demographics, no matter what age the creator is or what age, the demographics are heavy 25 to 35. And it's this, I think the millennial Gen Z generation is saying like, there's gotta be something more. And so I think that that's really great. Not saying that the older generations aren't doing that, but I do think that like the way that they were raised taught them to isolate, to not share. And so now we're growing up and we're saying, and we were taught the same thing from our parents. And because of what we've learned through social media, and we're like, oh, there has to be something more. I need to open up. It's okay to open up. And so I see my little brothers caring. I see my little brother, like my youngest brother, he's 9 years younger than me, like calling me and telling me about the things he's working through. And it's like a lot of those guys, I think, are not saying that there still aren't others.
Sure. But you're seeing another
I think that there's a shift in our world and with these millennials and Gen Z that people want to just be real. They want to be themselves, and you can't be real in yourself if you're not vulnerable.
Totally. Well, I mean, I think authenticity is community, authenticity, these are like the big buzzwords, but authenticity, especially, I would imagine for you, once you kind of like really proudly share that on social.
Yeah.
Did it surprise you, the people that were engaged with the authenticity that you shared, or did it?
Well, it surprised me my thoughts were authentic, and my thoughts were coming from things that I wish I would tell myself, in my story. And it surprised me because of the amount of people that reached out and said, I feel like you. And I think that that's the coolest thing that I've realized, is that we are connected by feeling. We're connected by the excitement. We're connected by the anxiousness. Feeling is a universal language, and all of our stories are different. And so it's like, I can say, I feel you. Like, you can hear my story and say, and so I think that that's what surprised me, is that if I can communicate.
It's so well said, because not the same story, but I feel exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, sorry to cut you off.
I'm going to communicate a feeling. And I think that that's what I've tried to do, is how do I make a video and communicate, comfort, or how do I communicate empowerment? How do I communicate overcoming? Like, how do I do this?
Sure.
And that's been my goal throughout my videos, is connecting at the universal language touch point, which is the feeling.
Yes.
The inspiration.
I mean, the control freak part of it, like, let's talk about that, because I think, people might view JB, you got it all figured out.
No.
Like and I feel sometimes in a similar, like, we can present as maybe all knowing, or like this Buddha martyr.
Yeah, no.
And I always try to just, operate from a place of, I just know what works best for me. Sure, I have some emotions and feelings, but do you ever feel like an imposter at times, or feel like you're
completely?
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. So,
because I feel like that a lot. And it's something I ask a lot of my guests.
No, I'm glad that you asked. So I grew pretty big over a year. So from like 2023, May of 2023 to 2024. And in the summer of 2024, I decided to leave. I was doing a creative direction job at the time. Like, I wasn't making money off of social media. So I had just been like, yo, I'm a creative director now, and had clients and things like that. And I ended up leaving to focus on my brand. And I didn't know what to do. And I remember finding myself back at this place of feeling very not good enough. And me having 1.2 million followers, and my wife and I being 20 grand in debt. And I felt like a stupid businessman, and I felt like a stupid person. And I was like, how am I?
Yeah, like, you're a fraud.
Yeah, no one wants to listen to me. And I went and got a Xanax prescription in 2024.
Wow.
I couldn't sleep.
Now at that time, I mean, there's a lot of different thoughts on this, but I've met some folks in rehab, in recovery, that are prescribed a mood stabilizer, and they're open about that with their sponsors, and they're still sober. Would you say that you were still sober, or no? Okay.
No. The panic attacks came back, and I couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
So I had a reason, and I told my wife, I have to get this, and she was like, it's fine. You were
being open about it.
Yeah, I was being open. I was
not hiding.
Well, that turned into up until April of 2025.
Wow.
And so August of 2024 to April of 2025, I wasn't abusing Xanax, but I was taking them nightly. And it just didn't sit right with me. And so I went back to detox, and there was a detox right down there. So
claps to that, man.
Went to detox and was there for 7 days. I detoxed off of it.
How hard was that? I feel like it would be harder that next go round, because you'd done so much work.
It was just funny. I went there, and it's 5 people knew who I was.
Oh, fuck.
I know.
You'd already gotten to that level now. And they were like, what are you doing here?
The therapist knew who I was. They were like, are you here to speak? And I was like, nah.
Nope. I'm getting
but
clean.
I think that's what makes me is I'm just going to be honest.
And we need that, man, because it's
not
a light switch.
Yeah. I'm not a guru. I don't want to be one. And I'm not a coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm not licensed in any of that stuff. I'm more of a brother. And I think that's my brand, is I struggle just like everyone else. And I think healing is an upward spiral. And I think that we go through times of darkness and light, I think, in growth and evolution over and over again. And that year from 2024 to 2025 grew me in ways that I never would have grown outside of that.
It's part of the journey.
And I've had to have grace with myself. I couldn't sleep. Probably shouldn't have gone on Xanax, but I did.
Yeah.
But I was honest. I was honest with my wife. I was honest with my dad. The time before I wasn't. And I got help.
But that story, I think, it's so, I think, relatable, because I think, people go to rehab and they don't always stay sober.
Yeah.
But not everybody tells that story, even the relapses or the ups and downs. It's so important that you tell that, because I think people just assume, it's just like this.
Yeah. I think the struggle I think the hard times that we walk through, the darkness that we walk through is what makes us. It's what shows us the light.
100%.
And being able to work through that and be honest about it. And the world is a crazy place. It has a lot of ways to numb. There's so many different avenues in this world. It's not the 1800s. We're not sitting out in a cabin and have nothing to do. Like
Sometimes I wish we did.
Yeah, I know. And so it's
turn it all
like
off.
you feel discomfort. Okay, well, I'm going to numb on Netflix. You feel discomfort. Okay, well, I'm going to go, find a Xanax. And so everything is just right there. I'm not saying that we should do this, but I'm saying that we should have grace for ourselves and be honest about where we're at. I don't plan on using Xanax again. I feel like I got that out of my system and I feel like I'm in a better place now.
What are your kind of holistic, I like to ask my guests, what are things you do every day that are kind of your non-negotiables?
Number one, I love a sauna. Home Saunas sent me a sauna.
Oh yeah.
And I freaking love it.
So you're a daily sauna guy?
Daily sauna guy. I have an ice bath that I do. I don't ice bath every day. I should, but
I went to an ice bath yesterday. Yeah. I'm still a little bit of a baby. I did it, but I'm like,
exactly. And it's sometimes a little bit too cold. I like to work out like 3, 4, 5 times a week. It just depends. And I'm just a very simple, I can't really like schedule myself because I don't do it if I schedule. I'm very ADHD, but there's a breath work on YouTube by Wim Hof and it's 11 minutes long. And if you just look up Wim Hof breath work, it's the one that's 11 minutes. That has helped me tremendously.
Is there a time of day that you do the breath work, starting or ending?
It'd probably be best if I did it in the morning. But I don't. So I'll do it when I'm in the sauna or like
whenever you get a moment.
Yeah, when I get a moment.
But that's the honesty we need. Like when I first started hearing about meditation, I thought you had to sit with your legs crossed and like with your eyes closed and do this.
Exactly.
But like I realized you can actually not do that and still have a good session.
I think all those things are very important. But I think what's most important is inspiration. And when we live in our heads so much, it's hard to be inspired. When you're in your head, you're dead. And so I think for me, what I really try and do daily is how do I find a feeling? How do I get from my head to my heart? I know this doesn't like follow all like the other wellness stuff of do this, but like I like to watch a movie that's going to make me feel something, music that makes you feel something, a conversation that makes you feel. I think the magic is in the inspiration. Is in the excitement. And so I call that state shifting from I've got all this shit going on in my head. What do I need to do to like find inspiration and get into my heart? And for me, it is arts, music. Sometimes it's working out, but really it's more, how do I get inspired?
And I feel like with sobriety has kind of made you cherish and appreciate those things that I'm sure when you were drinking and using, you weren't. I mean, maybe music was a thing, but you probably didn't listen to the music really.
Yeah, it's hard to find that inspiration when you're numbing.
Exactly.
You're disconnected.
But yeah, I mean, music for sure, art, and different like food even. Like you get
food.
I really appreciate these things where in the past, I mean, because all the cocaine I did, I wasn't eating any food. But now I'm like, I love food.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I appreciate, whether it's the flavors or whether the culture.
The story behind it.
Yeah. I love it. Well, you're inspiring me now, man. And a lot of your stuff you're doing is inspiring.
Thank you.
I have one last question, actually, which is something I ask all the guests. The concept of more life. What's giving you more life right now?
What is giving me more life right now is right now I'm working on a book. It's like 2 years away, but being able to work on that book right now and find the inspiration to do that has been a ton of fun. The other thing that's given me more life is my wife, and we just got a new puppy.
Hell yeah.
And I think kids are on the way pretty soon. I want to be a dad. I'm excited for family. Just the things close to me, my wife, my family, my brothers. Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in, JB.
Yes, thank
Seriously,
you so much.
Impressive what you built, and your story is certainly going to help a lot of people. It's helping me. I love hearing the family dreams and all your wife support. She deserves a lot of acknowledgement.
For sure.
I think a lot of times when I've had guests on, it's the loved ones in the lives of people who struggle or have had ups and downs that sometimes get forgotten about.
And she's been that.
She's been a warrior and a rock star. So we've got to shout out your wife and all the other close friends and people who supported you. But I love you, JB.
Man,
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, we'll do this again.
Thanks for coming on.
For sure.
Thank you for hanging with me on More Life today. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Please like, subscribe, all the good things. Check us out next time here at Soft Bar in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. More Life is produced by Annie Siegel and executive produced by Adam Reynolds of Denim Pictures. This episode was directed by Annie Siegel, edited by Mikey Ortiz, and recorded at Softbar Studios in Brooklyn, New York. More Life is a production of Sony Music Entertainment. From Sony, our executive producers are Chris Skinner and Joanna Clay. Original music by Function Adams. Sound mixing by Ian Sorrentino. Set design by Michael Ignacio. Publicity by Caitlin Healy. Additional support from Abby Sharp. And a special thanks to Allison Shano and Joanna Orland. New episodes drop every Tuesday. We'll see you next time.